the former players of Warriors were also being signed and actually playing on other teams. So it didn't make a lot of sense.
And you're not taking in consideration, because you guys told us that it was a situation of you need to protect the lives of your players. Which same players were playing pickup games, they were, moving out here and there. So I don't think it was a valid reason actually telling us that you have to protect your players. There must have been something else on the inside that none of the people in the Warriors, committee really wants to tell us. Was there something else that pushed you guys not to register? Because it puts you in a bad spot.
Yeah.
When we return next year with the league, will you be relegated? Will you crawl your way back into the eight? How does it work?
First, as a federation, they sent out the notice that you are free to play or not to play. Then, because basketball, Warriors, according to Warriors, it's a family team, and we consider families first. Yeah. So we talked to all the players that were available, and we told them our decision and our fears, given that most of us are exposed, and we travel a lot and we know what's happening out there. So we told them our stand as management. But however, we gave them chance they are free to do what they want, because these are adults. We told them, if you want to go, you can go. If you want to play pickup, you can pick up, but at your own cost. Yeah, but as a club and management, we chose to take one stand, and that is to protect the players. Because by that time, there was no vaccine, there was nothing. So we didn't think it was, looking at if you look at the opportunity cost and you weigh, the risk was a bit great. Yeah, of course, players always get stubborn and all that. They want to continue playing, which you can't avoid. But as management, because when a player gets sick, or God forbid the player dies, they will not say a player was playing pickup, they will say Warriors. And you are liable as a club and management. So you look at the underlying expenses and costs, then you're like, you know what? For now, let's take a break. I mean, it does nothing. And I think, based on what's happening now, I think we took a wise decision, because even the teams that had begun are not playing anymore. Okay, so as much as the players really wanted to play, as much as everyone else was doing, we don't do things according to everyone else. We do things according to what our conscience tells us. And at that moment, as management, we're all in the same boat, and we said, protect the players first.
Okay. Hopefully we shall get back to the Warriors discussion later on. To Yuri, the captain of the junior Silverbacks. Welcome back from Cairo, first of all, and it was an experience which I believe has both sides of the coin. Please, to our viewers, explain how was it down there?
Well, that's for me and for most of the people on our team, the toughest competition we've had to come up against. So it was not so much a surprise, but a hard hitter when we arrived there. And the first game, we were a bit scared, but then towards the later stages, we started gaining confidence as a team, and then we started getting stronger. And I feel like it's taught us that Uganda may not be the biggest country in basketball, but because we have heart, we can fight.
Because we have heart. That's a very good statement, Emma. Don't you think? Heart, attitude. Those are some things that actually I believe even Coach Ronnie will not be able to instill in the players.
There's some things that in basketball we say you can't teach people some things. You can't teach someone how to have heart. You can't teach someone how to hustle. Those are things that come from within. Okay, those are things that are going to set you apart from other players. And coming from you is saying that those are things that it was a baptism by fire, basically. Watching your first game, all of us were in shock at what was happening. But like you said, it's a good experience. It actually showed you guys where you range according to other players in Africa. But what I want to get from you is, after that first loss, okay, what was the situation like in the under-16 camp? I know some tears must have been shed. Some guys must have second-guessed their talent or something like that. So what was the experience for you guys after that first loss, after that first game?
Well, in the first game, we were prepared to fight. And then as they took us on, and as you said, it was a baptism of sorts. We didn't take the loss so badly. because as a team we needed to move on and we needed to forget the past, the loss, and we needed to be together and be strong. Because there was no other way we would continue in the tournament if we were looking at our losses. So after the game, there was no tears shed. We came together as a team and we said we're going to work together, work better as a team. And that was our mindset, and that's how we moved on throughout the tournament.
Yeah, and I think that showed, you know.
Yeah, definitely, because like you said, they grew in the tournament. Mr. Mutebi,
Yes.
preparations for getting the junior silverbacks there. There was a lot of talk on social media from various people, some of them being actually very harsh, some being a bit sympathetic, others being hopeful, others actually commenting that the team did not have any business going down there. Preparation-wise, how was it?
Very tough, I must confess. The initial stages, we had a plan as a national team committee, junior national team committee. We did a bit of trials, went to schools. From last year, we've been scouting. Even before the lockdown, we tried to reach out to the coaches. I don't know if it remembers, we sent out communication to all the available pages and told the coaches, because we can't know everyone, but we know through knowing coaches, we know the coaches, and we can always get to them. So we tried to reach out to coaches, and everyone presented who they thought was their best. And by January this year, which was I think towards our last trials, we had a team of we first had a team of around 70 boys at KIU. We did
70.
Yes.
That's a huge number. How did you zero down to the final 12?
So
from 70.
There were 70. We were around 6 coaches. I chose a group of 6 coaches. I worked with, independent of my decision, and of course with the technical director inclusive. So we chose around 40 boys. So we had another trials. We had other trials at City Parents, City High, sorry. And according to the attendance, there was still about 40. We thought there would be 40. They still thought us. We had to reduce the number to 20. Even after doing the final 20, they still sent us some boys we thought were good. For example, I'd never seen Omara Emmanuel. They told me he's there, but he's in Agulu, he can't come. So the people who had seen him, I based on the words of the coaches who told me, actually, this boy is way better. He's tall, he's this, he can do this, can do this. I watched a few of his workouts and they were okay. And then there are some other kids who came around, of course. So we tried to make it competitive, but under circumstances, it was hard because we don't have a basketball arena that we can use and say this national team, or this is for the federation. So we had to always bench on individuals to help us. So towards 3 months to the competitions, we did our final trials of the final 25 actually. It became 25.
Final 25.
Yes.
Now you narrowed it down from 70 to 40
to 25. And now we're sure. And most of the guys I went with recently were not actually there. They were I think he was one of the finalists. But most of the kids who I went with to Egypt were not part of the final 25. So the